Welcome, everyone. This is exciting. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome. Okay, before introducing my wonderful guest speaker, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Diana Viola, Communications Associate at the School of Continuing Studies at Career Advising and Transition Services. My team is here with me. Please say hello to my manager, Rosalia Felice.
Hi there.
She is impersonating me with Diana Viola. She's Rosalia Felice. We have Valerie Niwini.
Hi, everybody.
Of course, our wonderful speaker, Olivier Dupiton.
Hi, everyone.
And before jumping in this wonderful interview, I would like to give you some instructions to make sure that we have a smooth communication and to ensure that our interaction is very on point. So please stay muted, close your mics unless you want to talk or ask a question. Please note that we are recording this session and also we are live on Facebook. In case you want to replay the session of today, you can go to our fan page and rewatch it. Also, if you feel more comfortable closing your camera, it's okay, but we love sharing our faces and seeing you. And the chat, we are receiving questions in the chat. So if you have any question for our speaker or for myself or the team, you can put it in the chat. Please make sure that you send the questions to everyone. Avoid sending particular messages, for example, myself or Olivier, because it's hard to catch everything. And we have wonderful volunteers and people of the team helping out with the chat. So thank you for that. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing, I have to say, a legend at the School of Continuing Studies, especially at Career Advising and Transition Services. I've been working at CATS for almost a year and a half. And from day one, I learned about the memorable and insightful legacy that you have, Olivier, as a trusted career advisor and a trusted modern day recruiter. How are you, Olivier?
Hi, I'm doing very well. I don't know exactly what to say with this introduction. You have almost close to the same amount of time that I spent at CATS. So to have a legacy, it's in that short amount of time, it's I guess it's a great thing. I appreciate it. But I'm definitely happy to be here and see familiar faces. Adikembe, Ralph Sherry, Petra. I mean, I know I'm just calling out a few names, but it's just very, very refreshing to see some people that I have not seen in a while.
How is going this 2020 for you?
Well, 2020 is interesting because it's definitely tough with everything that went on. However, it there's a lot of wonderful things that happened in 2020 that are happening now and that will continue to happen. So I think so far, if we count our blessings, I can definitely say it's a great year so far. My family's doing well. I'm doing well. Some great things are happening in my life. 2020 is going well.
That's a good approach. Thank you. And for those who haven't had the opportunity to get to know you, I want to say some facts about you. You are you used to be a career advisor at the School of Continuing Studies, and now Olivier is a trusted advisor and recruiter in Randstad, Canada. Olivier also has a background in business administration, and also he has a master's degree of science in organizational leadership. From banking to career advising, now recruiter, what are those key skills that you feel have helped you transition between roles?
Well, I'd like to say I'm still a career advisor, although this is not my title at my job, but becoming an advisor, it is not something that you lose. It's something that is important, that you can continue to use those same skills and help others. In my job today as a recruiter, I position myself as a career agent. When I meet someone, not only that I'm going to do an interview with that person to try to find that person an opportunity, but if I can listen to that person, get the person's trust and understand that person, I can also advise, and that's a little bit on my approach. And you know, there's a lot of people that like it. There's a lot of people that I've helped find jobs that really love that approach. Therefore, that's it. You mentioned some of the skills. Some of the skills are as basic as customer service. Customer service is everywhere that I've been. Any positive experience or anything positive about me in those experience was my ability to connect with clients and customers. Therefore, just being able to listen and provide the kind of help or the give them the service that they want. That's been great for me. Listening skills is important. I've mentioned that a lot, but it's every time you meet someone, they always people want to talk about themselves. People want to be heard. Therefore, even if the person is not recognizing they are telling you everything, but it's when you show them that you've listened and then you can bring that back a second time, they really appreciate that. So people are not conscious but about it, but they always going forward and tell their stories and their issues, and being able to listen, active listening, as my former boss Rosalia would say. It's really important. I think also another skill, it's a skill, but you can also see it not, as a skill. It's authenticity. It's being yourself. And when people can see that, they can feel comfortable with you. And when they feel comfortable, then they accept you with your flaws. Okay, so if you're going for an interview, if you're doing this session, for example, a lot of the things that I used to do that I do now, it's always come forward and let people know that I am actually shaking. I think that because I had another session earlier, I'm a lot more comfortable now. But earlier I didn't know what to say. I was shaking. I was very nervous. And being authentic like this, everybody is like me. Therefore, people are not seeing a superhero. People are seeing somebody that is just like them, and they like to relate to that. Those are some skills, for me, that I think is important. There are many skills, and you can try to learn them and then practice them. But I think that there are core skills that everybody has. They just should be mindful of them and put that out there a lot more, because people will get to like you for who you are.
With this answer, I feel we can get a sense of your style. And you've been nicknamed the Professional Matchmaker, and you call yourself modern day recruiter. How do you think that came about?
I'm going to answer this question second to first. I'll just pretty much introduce myself. There's a lot of people that know me. but for those that do not know me, and for also this video will be replayed, I want to go ahead and then do a proper introduction. I am a career advisor. I'm a basketball coach, and I'm also a recruiter at Randstad. My journey started when I was in Haiti, where I grew up. Therefore, I'm going to go back in time just to give you a bit more background about myself and then why I am who I am today. Hold on, I am playing with.
Do you want to share your screen?
No, I don't want to share my screen. I just wanted to. Just fix it again now. Okay, I think I found. All right, so yeah, so I grew up in Haiti. I was born in Montreal, but I grew up in Haiti. And growing up in Haiti, that was an experience in itself. I won't go into those details, but I moved to Montreal when I was 17. Not back, because that was the first time that I moved to Montreal before I was born and young. Therefore, I was new to this country, to this province, to this culture. And then I had to transition, and that's a lot in itself. I started playing basketball, which definitely helped me transition and then create an identity for myself and start becoming part of something that wasn't, because I was almost the new kid, don't have friends, don't know his identity yet, trying to find himself. So basketball definitely gave me a path, a way to express myself and learn a lot through it. And through that experience, I was able to have basketball scholarship. I'd like to say I play at Vanier. It's really important to mention that I am a cheater. Other people will understand, but it's really important. Therefore, when I had scholarships to go to the US, where I played in Florida and gain have I'm finished with a Bachelor in Business Administration. I traveled to many states in the US, to many cities, and it was a great experience. And then I received another scholarship to go and to do my master's in organizational leadership, which was really, really interesting as well. I learned a lot from this experience. Had an injury, came back to Montreal. When I came back to Montreal, I'm still looking for myself. I'm still trying to, first of all, what is my identity? At the time, I grew up in Haiti. I come to Montreal. I'm trying to position myself or finding myself. And then basketball gave me an escape. But when I came back after, I think I was like 26, 27, I still didn't quite know who I am and what I'm looking to do. I started applying for a lot of jobs. I applied at BMO. They received my CV to 3 different, I guess Indeed, email, and maybe at the time it was a Monster. And then I had an opportunity to work there for 3 years, where I was working with clients and relationships managers in the US. So I was in Montreal helping clients in the US for BMO. But that was really just me, just like everybody else. They just sent thousands of CVs, no positioning, no targeting of their CVs. And then I ended up finding that kind of opportunity. I didn't know yet what I wanted. From there, it wasn't the best experience, because I made great relationships, great connections. However, I still was looking to find myself. And with the conversation that we had earlier with diversity and inclusion, when you don't feel belong, in a place when there are what we call politics, but what is politics is everything that we mentioned in the discussion earlier. You guys can go and look at it, diversity and inclusion. Through that, you often shoot yourself in the foot because you are not part of the team. You have your own struggle, and then you're trying to discover yourself, and therefore it wasn't the best experience for me, but I learned a lot from it. Then again, I wanted to work for a school. I was looking for a job. I applied, and I find this opportunity at City High College where I would help students find internships and jobs. I did not have prior experience in this industry before, but I remember Valerie used to work at that school, and they gave me that opportunity, and I learned from some people. I had some of the skills, some of the requirement, to be successful in this position, because you do a lot of connecting with people, a lot of reaching out and creating a network of employers. And also, if you have empathy, you want to help others, you can listen. There's a lot of those skills help me be a good career advisor. And employment counselor. I was more an employment counselor, and the difference is I was more helping people with finding their resumes and then find a job or internship. And then eventually that helped me to go to McGill with CATS, where I became a career advisor and started to focus more on how I can help each and every individual that come and meet me, and not just find them a job. Because what we do, what you guys do at CATS, what I used to do at CATS, it's not finding people a job. It's really help them transition from a different country, a different industry, and help them find their way. So a lot of the times people come and meet us, we listen and we give them tools to be successful. And those tools are not always finding a job. It's more of, it's whatever they need at the time. So they come in and they go with a lot more confidence, and they feel better about themselves. So, and yes, we do help find jobs with internships and a lot more. That's my experience with CATS, and I really love the aspect of matchmaking people, because I always had, to answer your second question, it was always in me to connect people with people on LinkedIn. It was always in me when I saw a position, but I remember this person mentioned to me about, this communications position, Petra. I would talk to Petra and remember that she is looking, and remember everything that she mentioned to me. And when I see another contact of mine that is looking, then I would connect the dots. And then a lot of the times people would find opportunities. So I play with the words, and then I call myself matchmaker. I thought it was interesting. And then that's pretty much it. I love connecting people. And from that, I really enjoyed, I thought going to recruitment and do that full time would be a great thing, which I did. I'm at Randstad now in industrial management, and it's going great. And when I transitioned, the transition was tough. We'll get into that if you want. The transition was tough, but I just wanted to answer your question in terms of, my introduction, who I am and where I come from, and also why do I call myself a matchmaker.
Of course, I would love to hear more about your transition and why was tough.
Why it was tough? Because when I came to Randstad, I left something that I loved a lot. So that in itself was tough, the transition, because it was, and as you can see, I stayed far away from you guys. I stayed far away from LinkedIn. It was a tough transition because I left something that I love. But the second part was the fact that I was seeing it from the wrong approach. It's sometimes in recruitment or in agencies, it's like a numbers game. Therefore, you talk to one person, it's like a CVs. Peoples are no longer people; they become CVs. This company is looking for this CV. This person sent this CV. You match them, go. That's a placement. Therefore, when you meet someone, you try to please the company or to fill the need of the company, and that's all that is in your mind. What do they want? And if that person is not what they want, well, on to the next one. You just move to the next person. That person no longer is in your sight. So that was kind of tough because I came from CATS, from a culture of every single person that knocked on the door. And I know you guys are busy, and we were busy. Sometimes we cannot help everyone because we cannot be at every single place or spot at once, right? Because at the moment, I'm sure you guys are receiving LinkedIn requests and stuff from people, and you cannot help because you guys are busy. So I came from that culture of trying to everyone matter, every story mattered, every experience, all their experience from different backgrounds, from different countries, all that matter, how to help them find a great opportunity. And what we talked about with Toby earlier and all the other panelists, for them not to sell themselves short, to working at Randstad as a recruiter, it's not the place that is the question. It's more as a recruiter in an agency. If you are looking at it from the wrong approach, you're just not focusing on people, you're focusing on your client's needs. And then, so that's how I was kind of learning and going to it and then eventually once I started to get better at it and I spent more time, I started to focus more on each and every people that I can help, because no, I cannot help everyone. But instead of playing a numbers game, I try to create relationships with every single person that I can help. I'm sure there are some people that are requesting my help and I didn't get back to them. I can't do it all. But the ones that I have the chance to meet, I listen to them, I make them feel heard, I try to bring the best out of them, and I really try to help them as much as I can. And if I fail, or if we fail, or if we didn't have that opportunity, that experience that person had with me, it's valuable. That person is not going to feel any kind of way because we didn't reach our goal in finding a job. He might find a job by himself, or it might take a bit more time. So that's why I positioned myself as a trusted advisor, and that's why the transition was tough. But eventually, once I changed my approach, it started, everything started to go smoother. I like what I do. I started to do a lot more. I started to do great at work in terms of, helping people find jobs. And in the year 2020, 2019, there was a lot of ups and downs at my branch, and a lot of people left for reasons. They moved to different countries. We had a team that lost a bunch of people because people got pregnant, people left to different opportunities or countries. Therefore, I had to step up, and it wasn't my plan, it just happened. And it was a great year to a lot of challenges, and I ended up being a recruiter of the year and also win a trip, which got canceled by the COVID, but eventually next year I'll get to enjoy that.
For those who may be in a similar position than you are, mm-hmm. those who maybe need to meet the expectations of the company on one hand, and also they deal with people and they are kind of in the middle of the two worlds. What pieces of advice would you give them for finding a good balance between the two of them?
That's a very good question. It's as simple as finding the good balance of meeting the company's needs, and also trying to help the people that comes to you. And that's how you can be a good recruiter or a bad one, and not a bad one or a less successful, because there are great people, great recruiters that are, and I had a former colleague, you know, that in mind, that weren't successful at a place. It's because that person used to value more the candidate and wasn't able to connect also the other dot, which is, you know, finding ways to help that candidate find a job. How can I say this? It's more of the company that you work for, goal is for you to place as many people as possible, while you, if you're a recruiter and then you focus more on the people, then yes, you are giving a lot of your time, but you're not giving a lot on the other side, which is the objectives. But you do all the great stuff by trying to help that person. So you have to have a balance in knowing how much you can give and how much you can have on your return, but at the same time, try not to make this person feel like your time it's you're trying to get your return on investment from that experience. It's tricky.
That you have done an amazing job, and I just want to take a moment to read the comments and all the love that people have for you. Rosalia says, it was tough. It was a tough transition not having you at CATS anymore, too, on our side. Eitayo says, Olivier, you were a blessing to me when I was processing my admission into McGill. God bless you, sir. We have a question. We have another comment here. I think it was Petra. It was a great experience working with you. And we have a question. Evie Yemi, she asked, hi, I have been in Montreal over a year now, learning French, and I'm searching for a job now in a bank. She's in PR, or he's in PR. What do you advise?
My first advice is contact CATS. That's one thing that you should definitely do. There is a lot of amazing advisors that will be able to help you. I can give you advice, but there are many steps that needs to be taken before just applying for a job or get the job. So I'm sure that in the process of the transition that you are making, I don't know exactly what, you know, the steps that you've taken, but try to be, it's so tough to answer open-ended questions in terms of how to find a job in PR. You have to connect with people. You have to get informed. You have to know what are the skills that are required in this industry, okay? And you have to also give yourself the time to acquire the knowledge and the information needed for you to not sound like a job seeker only. Okay, so you need to position yourself as a professional in the PR industry, and know your value add and bring that forward. It's a lot that I just said, but it's definitely not done over just listening and then put it into action. So I'm not sure exactly what she has been doing, but I definitely I strongly would recommend you to, you know, connect with me directly if you can. Maybe I can give some pointers, but definitely use CATS. Go see CATS. They have a team there that is dedicated to do just that, help people transition. And
yeah,
you are at the right place.
It's a great piece of advice. Always find support to make informed decisions. That's the very first step, always.
Yeah.
I just want to go back to basketball.
Okay.
You mentioned, like, we know you are a talented coach, and you keep mentoring youth from marginalized communities with basketball, and basketball gave you the opportunity to win scholarships and pursue your studies, your undergraduate studies. How do you think that sport has shaped your leadership skills?
I have notes, but I tend to always like go off top, you know. Basketball is like basketball is like the dad that I didn't have. In a, it shaped me. It helps me to be a leader. It helps me to be responsible. It helps me to with communication skills. It teaches me how to win, you know, the right way and being humble, and also to lose like a champion. And what does that mean? If I, this is the basketball terms, if I translate that in everyone's lives, it means you do everything that is in your power. You work hard, you have great work ethic, you push, and when you win, you celebrate those wins. But when you do the same thing and then you lose, or you didn't get the job, or this experience didn't work because you were a recruiter at such and such company, but that experience did not work because of culture fit, company fit, or you finding yourself in the approach. This is not, you lose, but you can learn from it. So you can take the L away. You can use the L and not use it for losing, but learning. That's what basketball has been for me, guidance and as much, you know, guidance, leadership, responsibility, communication skills, team player. I am more of a person that focus. I value more winning as a team, accomplish something as a team, being part of CATS and not about myself, and then do great things or with my team at Randstad in the STEAM division. You know, when we accomplish our goals together as a team, I have more value in that. I find more value in that than when I win individually. And that's what people like about me, is the fact that they do see that it's not about myself. It's about, I prefer to do it with everyone instead of just doing it on my own.
Rosalia has a question, but I don't know if you have something to add. Your response pretty much respond her question, but you can add something else maybe. It is said that the sports is a good metaphor of life. Mm-hmm. How does your experience in basketball play out in your life?
Well, I mean, I think my answers kind of answer that question already in terms of how it shaped me. Because basketball, it's like a life, right, in itself. And then you go through struggle, you become a leader, you become responsible, you learn how to lose and win. You learn how to work together as a team. That's definitely, I have a thought in mind that kind of like escaped me. I'm trying to get it back, but let me see.
What character trait?
How does your experience play out in your life? Well, yes, I get it. Shoot your shots, right? It wasn't my this decision to have this topic, right? It was you guys' decision. You guys remember my experience there at CATS, and then you guys say, I used to say that a lot. So basketball had helped me or emphasize on shooting your shots. What is shooting your shots? It's go after your opportunities, go after what's for you, and when you miss, you shoot until you make, you shoot until you miss. What does that mean? You are practicing, and the goal is for you to make as many shots as possible. You want to get better. You don't stop shooting. You shoot and you keep making. If you miss, you continue to shoot so you can make again, right? Therefore, that help you in life to stay positive. And once you do the right thing, once someone, for example, the professional in communication that sent the question earlier, once you put your best foot forward, and you get informed, and you position yourself the right way. You don't position yourself as a job speaker, but as a professional offering value. And then you go for an opportunity and you don't get it. Well, you keep your head high and then you aim for the next one. So a lot of people, because of a few failures or a few CVs that they sent and they didn't get an answer, they tend to put them down. They don't see the end of the tunnel, and they say, well, I can't find a job, nobody's answering to me. But maybe you need to refocus, and then find a different approach. But just just remember that if you do everything in your power, you work hard, you put your best foot forward, and then you miss, continue again. Keep shooting your shots, right? Wayne Gretzky, the hockey Hall of Famer, he says you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So if you don't take those shots, 100%, like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I cannot break that down like any simpler than that.
The other day, just to go back to basketball, the other day we were talking about The Last Dance, the docuseries produced by ESPN on Netflix. And we were talking about how Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson are inspiring leaders. And I just have to ask you this question. One of the lessons that I learned from the show is you shouldn't discard difficult personalities or challenging personalities just because they are different. How do you manage that in your?
Well, I mean, I think everybody can be difficult. I think I'm not an easy person as well. So it depends the context. It depends the situation, but there is a place for everyone. And that's what we learned from the Dennis Rodman experience with Michael Jordan and then Phil Jackson is, that person was not the right fit for other cultures that, he was a part of. But once he found the right place, people that understood him, allowed him to be himself, and knew exactly how to manage the relationship between that person and the team, that then everything went well. It's not just when you are putting a team together as a manager. It is also your job to, once you give someone an opportunity to manage, the team in general, and then the interaction, and then how the culture. It is each and every single candidate's job to put their best foot forward, to work hard, to produce, to do everything that they can. But that doesn't mean if they have like a weakness somewhere, it should be that shouldn't be the deciding factor whether you give that person a chance or not. The deciding factor should be based on what the person can bring to your organization. And then the part that is missing, as a manager, this is your goal to how do you say that? To encadrer, okay? That put that person in a good environment, and then get to know that person, and then what do they need exactly? Frame, good, thanks, Rosalia. Because I am very liked by a lot of my colleagues, but I am myself not an easy person based on the culture. So there is definitely a place for everyone. Not even if it all look like roses, but
how can you identify those traits that make someone a good fit?
How can I identify those traits that make someone a good fit? That's a very complex question. I think it's based on what you're looking for. What are your criteria as a manager, as a coach? What kind of team are you looking to build? And once you establish those must have, and the person have those or most of those, then you can live with some of the what's missing, and then help shape that person into what you need, and how they can become their best selves. So there's not a straight answer to this question.
And now Rosalia asks, what character traits make you a good team player?
Traits that makes me into a great team player. Well, the fact that I feel very comfortable in being a role player. I do not need to be the main person, the best player. I am very comfortable. I would like to be the best that I can be, and if I'm the best player, then I strive for that. But being a role player, it's what a teammate is first. What does the team need for the team to be successful? And try to fill those gaps. Be that person. Get your hands dirty. Help your teammates with whatever they need. Volunteer yourself when others, are not willing to or cannot do it. So I think that those are some of the traits of being a good team player. Just being able to be a role player. Not just, the focus is not on you. It's more of what is missing, and then just go and do that.
Often we need connect with people to recognize certain traits in ourselves. Who have helped you personally? Who have inspired you in your journey?
Well, in my journey, it's very broad. In my journey, there's a lot of people that influence me and help. From the basketball coaches that I've had, at Vanier, in the US, and people that I've worked with. I've learned a lot from my former boss at CDI College. His name is Jim Konstantopoulos. I learned a lot from him. And then I've also learned a lot from Maya Korotkina at CATS when I used to work with her. There's a lot of, when I started the position at, being a career advisor at McGill, to a few of those traits that I had, that when I started to see them interactions on a regular basis, be selfless, being a team player and willing to take the back seat for someone else to shine, be authentic, be yourself. This is definitely a few things that I've learned from her, and also that I had in myself, and that kind of like helped push a bit more of those traits that I had. Definitely. I mean, I don't know why I have I don't have j'ai pas de blanc, mais it's more of there's a lot of people that influenced me and were a major part of me. But the question is, who that I've observed positive traits that that I have as well, that I've shared and that helped bring that out of me. I would mostly mention my coaches, Maya, and definitely a few colleagues that I've worked with that I've always learned. For some reason, I always work with Valerie's. I have 3 Valerie's that I work with in my last 3 jobs. And I've learned a lot from those people.
Have you had mentors in the past?
Mentors, yes, I definitely have mentors. Not formally, but there's a lot of people that I can learn from. That mostly the coaches basketball. A lot of the coaches that were in my life was somewhat of a mentor, because as I mentioned again, basketball was like the dad that I never had. Therefore, so it came in many ways. It came from a coach. It came from the game itself and the struggles. And then, yes, and I have a few mentors, older. I tend to listen to and have like older friends, people that are over 50 that are my friend. There's one in the US in Virginia that I should have shared this event with him. But you definitely need mentors, people you can learn from. I think I have in my circle like friends that are doing amazing things and I can learn from them, right? And that's very important as well.
I'm curious now, and what is your reaction when you receive a CV and someone plays the role of mentor, and you see that person devotes his time or her time to mentor someone or do volunteer work?
Well, that's always great to see. That is, I don't put more emphasis on it, because I always need to dig deeper and understand, what's in a CV. But I also never read a CV and I read a CV to see the potential, but when I get to talk to the person, I will know a bit more, because the CV is just a piece of paper. There is more to it.
Mm-hmm. We have a question. How can we ask for mentorship? Do we ask others directly if they can be our mentors?
Well, mentors sometimes are already in your lives. You just need to recognize it and keep getting those wisdom from those people. And yes, you can directly ask some people to be a mentor. There is different ways to go about it, because you cannot just connect with somebody on LinkedIn and say, hey, can you be my mentor? There need to be context. There need to be a way to approach it. But I would return that question back to the person and say, contact CATS. They do have those services that they offer, and then they can help you find out how the best ways of getting mentored.
Looking back on your career, and if you could go back to your 20-year-old self, is there anything that you would be happy to tell yourself or do differently?
Hey, I would definitely tell myself, don't do it. Don't do it. There's there's a lot of things that I've done. I would have done it differently. Um, uh, so much, like there's so much, and I think everybody can relate to that. If you can go back and change stuff or do over. I think one thing for sure that I would do is I used to say switch careers and do a different major in school. All that is great, but I would definitely shoot my shots a bit more. And what I mean by that, invest on myself more. Um, because if I had invested in some ways in myself, in I would have learned from those mistakes, and I would have, I would be able to do it again and do it better, right? And investing in myself, what does that mean? So that's for me. But it could mean a lot of things for somebody else. And believing in my ideas and go for them. Because I think that at 20 years old, I just followed the system. I just followed the path that everybody was going, and go to school and do business and not necessarily sit down, figure out who I am, what I want to do, how can I bring my best self, like some of my traits and that are in me, that are easy to have access to because I don't have to learn them, and then do a profession or do something that is around my core values and traits. So that's what I would do if I could go back. It's invest in myself early. And I'd like to say it's not too late to do it. I'm doing it right now. So me being here at the moment, it's me investing in myself. It's me putting myself out there and then shooting my shots. I think that I have a lot to say, and I've taken the backseat a lot. And what I mean by backseat, not backseat after someone, it's more backseat on myself. I give a lot of advice on careers. I help people, but I never really invested in my own self. So if it's time for me to work on my CV, it's time for me to work on my own project, I put that aside, but I'm willing to tell someone what's the best thing they need to do for themselves. So it's we can all do it together. We can all learn from this, and it's never too late to start investing on ourselves.
What's next for you?
What's next? I wish I had a clear answer to this, because what's next for me, it's not a job. It's not what's next. It's allowing myself to grow, and believing in myself and continue to put that one step forward towards shooting my shots, or towards reinventing myself, towards investing on myself. I did before I knew myself fully, I spent a lot of time giving back and not trying to give back to myself. And I need to find a balance because I do love the opportunity to help someone else. But for me to help, I need to have, and that's what I want to. That's what I want to do. I want to just continue to grow and allow myself. I think I have a voice. I think I can. I'm very outspoken, and I can use that in a positive way, because I could also use it in a negative way. But I need to I need to use my voice and and share it with others that needs.
We have 2 questions from the audience. We have Stephanie. She asked, from now, what would be your best / huge realization?
By the way, Stephanie is my coworker. Stephanie, what you doing? Not working. My best realization is soon to come. I think that I'm growing as a man. It's my #1 priority at the moment, because I think that I know how to do a lot of things, but I'm still learning how, who I am and how to be just a good man. That's a lot of the things that we can talk about, or just accomplishments and, buying a house, getting a great job, or winning a prize. But I'm just looking to grow and becoming my best self.
Thank you. We have one question from Naira. She asks, hi, Olivier. How do you see the role of recruiters during COVID-19? Are there any changes?
Well, I think that COVID-19 is can make a lot of recruiters become a better recruiter, because a lot of us are not working at the office and cannot meet those candidates face to face to size the person, to also show warmth, because it's tougher by phone to just do everything. Size the person, show that you are there to help, and then get them to be comfortable. So I think that is helping recruiters to connect a different way, find ways to connect with their candidates without being able to meet them in person.
Amazing, thank you. Well, we are close to the end. I'm happy for having you today. I enjoy our conversation. I feel I get to know you a little bit more, the person behind the legend.
Well, you guys get to know me a little bit more. I'm still getting to know myself, so that's quite something. And then, I continue. I don't know what to say now.
You are always welcome to the CATS community. Thank you again. We are grateful for you, for your presence. Thank you to everybody who joined us. And we look forward to seeing you in next opportunities, you, Olivier, and the audience, to join us with our following speaker, Aaron Hurst, Robert Wise, Kid Malo. You are invited to check our website and see what's coming up, because this week just started. Thank you.
All right, thanks everyone. Thank you everyone that tuned in today. There were a lot of people from Zimbabwe to the US to everywhere in Montreal. I'd like to give a shout out to my team as well at Randstad, the STEAM community. So, if I forget, I'll catch you back. But yes, it was a pleasure for me to connect with you guys, and then to share a bit of my journey and to be myself. I hope what people can take out of this is just shoot your shots. Don't put your best foot forward. Your first foot. You don't know what to do. Just step forward, right, and get out of your shell, and you will miss every shot that you don't take. So shoot your shots, be confident, be prepared, and be yourself.
Shoot your shots. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, Rosalia. Toasty Rosie.